All right. Let me just check this is on the right setting. It is. Okay, so welcome to the video that you've all been waiting for, which is about all of the weight loss drugs on the US market. Now, you can only see two, but like I've literally written out the pros and cons, what the compounds are, how they work, who they're good for, who they're not good for, literally everything, summary table at the end, and more at the end as well. So let's get right into it. I want to preface this very quickly that I by no means am encouraging these. I'm literally just sharing the information with you because I understand it, because I studied biomedical science and got into medical school. I know what I'm talking about. And I know a lot of you have considered them or you've tried and failed some. And I just really, I feel like the system or doctors maybe aren't telling you all of the options or telling you the pros and the cons, and they're just telling you the pros. And I think this video is really necessary for a huge population of people. So to start with, we've got Monjaro. Sorry. To start with, my goodness, Wegovy. This was the first one. So the compound, like chemical compound in it, right, is semaglutide, right? A lot of these have semaglutide in it. The type of, weight loss procedure it goes through on a more molecular level is GLP-1. It's a receptor antagonist. You don't need to understand that, but for those who understand what that is, there you go. That's what Wegovy is. And it is approved for weight loss in obese or overweight individuals who have diabetes or who don't have diabetes. Now, this is why I've started with this one along with like Ozempic, which I'll talk about in a second, just because they're the most two common ones today. Now, how it works is it mimics a hormone, right? We have this hormone, GLP-1, whatever. We have that hormone in our body, which is secreted in our body to kind of reduce our appetite, slow down our digestion, and tell us that we're full. And basically, it mimics this hormone by you're giving yourself a hormone that your body already creates to therefore reduce your appetite further, slow your digestion further. And if you slow your digestion and it takes longer for you to feel full after a meal, chances are you're not going to eat that snack after the meal, right? And therefore, it will help keep you full quicker, but also keep that fullness and that satiety for longer as well. Okay. Now, pros, like I'm just literally giving you the facts. Okay. There's no ulterior motive. I just think this is a very necessary video. The pros is that there is significant weight loss found, an average of around 15%, which is actually a huge amount in comparison to some other ones. Once weekly injections, so you're only injecting once a week, and it is approved specifically for weight loss, not just diabetes, right? And this is why I'm starting with this one because it is the more common one, along with Ozempic. Now, some cons. Common side effects: nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. Like in majority of these, the side effect is nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. Okay, because they all work very similarly. We'll get into a few differences though. It is expensive as well if you don't have health insurance. It's around 1,300 USD a month. It can lead to muscle loss as well, and that's not good. Remember, our muscle keeps us healthy. Our muscle is the one thing that can increase our longevity, meaning the years we have on this planet. And so remember weight. We have the weight of bones, muscles, fat, um, inflammation, water, like all of these things weigh certain metrics. Okay. So when you step on the scale and it says you're 250 pounds, you're not 250 pounds of fat. You're, whatever, 50 pounds of bones, blah, 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 blah. So it's when we lose weight, we don't want to actually lose weight. Okay. What do you want to lose? You want to lose fat. I've never met anyone on this planet who wants to lose muscle. That is a huge side effect, which is where then people run into metabolic issues because they've lost the muscle. We'll talk about that at the end, but that if any of these have a side effect of muscle loss, as a coach, I would never encourage it. Lastly, weight gain is very likely if you stop it. And this is where idea of it just not being sustainable comes in. And then you're like, oh, well, now I'm frustrated. I even spent all this money, but I put the weight back on. There's a lot of other reasons why you would have put the weight back on. But yeah, that's that. Ozempic, semaglutide as well. It's a GLP-1 receptor, basically the exact same. Slight difference is that it is approved for type 2 diabetics. And like if you are diabetic, usually the doctor would encourage Ozempic over Wegovy. It's used off label for weight loss as well. And how it works is it's the exact same as Wegovy in terms of the process. It's just a slightly different dosage, and it has a FDA label. That's the difference, right? And so the pros are very similar. Like it helps control blood sugar in type 2 diabetes or type 2 diabetics. Sorry. Secondly, it will also lead to a significant weight loss. But a little bit through a lower dose. So basically, you will need less of a dosage to achieve more weight loss in comparative to Wegovy, which is where your dosage is higher. So if you're trying to have the least amount of this compound possible, then you would probably opt for Ozempic over Wegovy, and it's a weekly injection as well. The cons is that it's not FDA approved, right? Similar side effects: nausea, vomiting, fatigue, constipation. In Australia, a lot of people have tried Ozempic, and there's been a lot of medical scary scenarios like loss of sight and stroke and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's still very expensive, and the weight gain is very likely if your lifestyle doesn't change. If you don't change your eating habits, your relationship with food, exercise, you don't change those things, okay? Which is the main issue with all of them. Monjaro. So this is, I always struggle to say this, tirzepatide. Zepatide. Tirzepatide. I can't say it, all right? I know what it is, though. Basically, it's a dual of GIP and GLP-1 receptor antagonists, so it's a little bit different to Wegovy and Ozempic in terms of the compound structure. It is approved for type 2 diabetics, used off-label for weight loss. It mimics your GLP-1, so just like Wegovy and Ozempic does, but it also mimics GIP, which are just different hormonal kind of like pathways, which will help reduce your appetite and improve insulin sensitivity, hence why it's works really well with type 2 diabetes. The best thing for type 2 diabetics, in all honesty, is to lose the weight, right? So, and if you lose the weight, then your sensitivity to insulin will be lowered anyway, which is a good thing. More effective at weight loss than semaglutide in studies. So there's other ones that we'll go through that also have semaglutide. So far, we've shown that Ozempic and Wegovy does, but there's some other ones that we'll get into further throughout this presentation. And pros. So most weight loss is seen in trials, right? Up to 20 to 22% of body weight. But this is the issue. And yeah, okay, we'll get into the cons, but I have a lot to say about that study. Anyway, moving on. Helps manage blood sugar very well. Weekly injection. Cons, GI issues. So gastrointestinal issues. Your that's not okay. Like we have nausea, we have vomiting, we have fatigue, but we have like your gastrointestinal tract is responsible for a lot of other things, okay? Things that I can't really explain to you without using terminology that you won't understand. I'm trying to keep this very simple. Off label for weight loss until Zepbound, see below. So I'll show you what Zepbound is as well. And it is at a very high cost, around $1,000 a month, right? And I'm going to break down the pricing structure, everything, so you can kind of compare them and see if you were to take it, what one would be best for you. Or if you were thinking about it, maybe your mind will change and you're like, I definitely don't want to try any of these. Or maybe you've tried it and you're like, oh, this is why it didn't work. So Zepbound, same compound, okay, as Mounjaro. Very, 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 very similar. It's really like the only difference is the dose might be slightly different, and it's just like a different company basically. Like it's literally the same thing, okay? Identical compound to Mounjaro, but approved specifically for weight loss. It's the same thing. Just it's like, you know how we have Panadol, right? But then you can buy like paracetamol, which is just the compound and not in made by this huge company. Or you can buy Nurofen versus ibuprofen. It's the same compound, right? Similar story. Up to 25% body weight loss in some studies. Newest edition, FDA approved for obesity, may improve your metabolic markers like blood sugar, cortisol. May. Right. Okay. May, but yeah. I'm going to explain the whole weight loss scenario again very briefly. You don't want to be losing muscle. You just want to be losing fat. And that's the issue found in majority of these, that they degrade your muscle, right? Cons: nausea, vomiting, possible muscle loss. There you go. So, like, how does it improve someone's metabolic markers by them losing weight? Like, that is very contradictory, right? Anyway, pricey, long-term safety, unknown. It was approved in 2023. It's 2025 now, okay? So, yeah, you might, like, blood sugar is a metabolic marker. Cholesterol is a metabolic marker. If you lose weight, that bad cholesterol will go down. If you lose weight, your blood sugar or type 2 diabetes will be reduced. If not, you'll now no longer be diabetic, right? Of course, there are certain metabolic markers. We have other metabolic markers, including your leptin, which is your satiety hormone, ghrelin, all these other things, your fucking, hormones, testosterone, estrogen, just the health of your body overall, right? I think you get what I'm saying. Moving on. All right. I struggle to say these names. Saxenda. So this compound is very, very different. It's liraglutide. It is a GLP-1 receptor, though. So it's kind of similar to Ozempic and Wegovy. Long story short, it must be injected daily, not weekly. That's the main difference, okay? So you have to take this injection every single day versus Ozempic or Wegovy you could take once a week. And obviously it slows your stomach by reducing your appetite, and it slows your stomach emptying, meaning you'll probably go to the bathroom less as well. But you probably go to the bathroom less because your appetite is reduced, and therefore you're not eating as much, and therefore your fecal development, meaning your poo, you won't need to go to the bathroom to defecate as often, or poo, right? Pros: FDA approved, decent weight loss, 5 to 10% of body weight, safe for teenagers with obesity, ages 12 plus. Okay. Cons: you have to use it daily, less effective than newer options, GI issues common, and it's expensive. Alrighty, moving on. Are you sick of my voice yet? I'm gonna have a table that will break this all down for you at the end. But it's good to work through these one by one so you get a very good understanding of each and every compound. This is the same as Saxenda. I struggle to say these names. This one's Victoza, just a lower dose, right? That's the only real difference. It will help you with your blood sugar control because you're losing weight, and it will help you reduce weight. No shit. Okay. Cons: not approved for weight loss, less weight loss than Saxenda or Wegovy, and it requires daily injection. All right. Now, this is an old school one. So a lot of you probably don't know of this one unless you've done your research. This one is Byetta, right? It's just a more old school one. And the compound is different as well. It's exenatide. It's also a GLP-1 receptor and agonist, approved for type 2 diabetes. How it works: it's literally just an older drug, as I said before. So it's not designed or approved for weight loss, but some people lose weight due to the appetite suppression, right? Like, a lot of these aren't actually targeting your fat, right? What it is targeting is your appetite hormone and your satiety hormones, and changing that, and therefore you're less hungry, and therefore you actually struggle to eat as much as you used to, or you just don't have as much of an appetite, right? Or you're more satiated, or both, right? And that's the same story with this. It's not like it's burning your fat or something. It's changing your appetite. That's what it's doing. And your satiety. Pros: cheaper than new drugs. As you can see, this is like an old school photo that I found off the internet. Some weight loss, especially in diabetics. Cons: weaker results. You have to take it twice daily if it's Byetta, or weekly if it's Bydureon. Okay, just different brands basically. It's not meant for weight loss either. Like, it originally wasn't made for weight loss. Okay, but because it suppresses your appetite, chances are you will lose some weight. All right. So I've probably blabbered on for long enough now. This is a quick comparison table. You're welcome to, to take a screenshot of it. I broke it down by brand, the compound, what it's approved for, the frequency as to how often you have to take it, which for majority of people is actually a lot of people don't like needles, so that's a factor to consider for majority of people. How much weight loss is expected as well, if it's FDA approved for obesity, and the main cons. There's cons in all of them, like yeah. Anyway, so that's that. Look, the main takeaway, I want to keep this video very short. I really just wanted to show you all of the weight loss injections that you could possibly take. You can, again, take a photo of this, screenshot it, whatever, and just explain them to you in case your doctor hasn't. And I want to finish off by letting these 3 points hit home for you. And again, I'm just giving you the facts. These medications, these injections, they can help like jumpstart weight loss, okay? Especially if people have like metabolic conditions or they are obese. Now, let me explain something to you. If you are obese or you are overweight, you do have metabolic issues because you are overweight. And if you lose the weight in a healthy manner, or you gain muscle in a healthy manner, or you do both, or you start eating better, your metabolism is going to start just healing itself. Like you don't need an injection or a pill for metabolic issues, okay? Anyway, so that's that. They don't teach you though the habits. In this injection there aren't habits. In this injection there isn't muscle or strength. And in this injection there isn't a therapy session to help you heal your relationship with food, right? And these are the underlying factors that are being ignored. It's why it's a quick fix or a band-aid solution. And the other issue is no one takes these injections for the rest of their life unless they're like 80 years old, could be at risk of a stroke tomorrow because of their weight, and they have to do something about it like right now, right? And that is the issue, okay? Like you need to think about the sustainability of it. Can you afford that financially? Are you willing to suffer the consequences of using that so often? Like most people can't afford it, and they get really sick. Like the more often you take it, the higher the likelihood is that you're going to suffer those consequences of it, meaning the nausea, the vomiting, etc. And those symptoms or those side effects are going to be even more severe because you've been taking it for a longer period of time. So at some point, people stop, whether it's money, whether it's they start feeling sick, whether it's because now they've lost the weight now and they now feel like I'm at a healthy weight now. I don't want to actually get skinny or looks like anorexic or anything, so I'm going to stop taking it. But then your hunger returns and you haven't healed your relationship with food. You haven't built strength, built muscle. You haven't changed your habits. You haven't changed your lifestyle. And therefore, like the weight comes back. And that is why I'm not honestly a fan. I've never encouraged any of my clients to jump on anything like this. I always answer questions if they have questions about steroids or weight loss injections, pills, birth control, TRT, but especially with weight loss injections, I'm like, no, no way. And I explain this to them essentially, and this is why it's a much better idea to lose the weight naturally, okay? And if you do it in the right way naturally, meaning sustainably, and you have the right professional help to care for your metabolism and some other hormonal things and blood parameters and stuff like that, you'll be able to keep that weight off long term as well. So financially, like I don't say this to be like, oh, like sign up with me, like I don't say that, but I'm just being honest. Like financially, it's actually a better investment to invest your money in, someone like myself who can actually professionally help you and help you with your health and do it in a sustainable manner. And that investment means that you don't have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in these medications. You'll probably get off meds as well. You won't have to see the doctors often. You don't need to take all these supplements, and you won't need to spend the money on things like weight loss injections. So if you think about it that way, you actually Like if you are taking medications, if you are taking weight loss injections, if you are going to the doctor quite regularly because you're in a poor state of health, that is costing you, right? And so there's a cost either way, right? And at the end of the day, like I mean this with love, I really do, but at the end of the day, there's either the cost of not doing it and the consequence, which comes at a financial cost, but also the cost of less years, less energy, less presence with your kids, etc. Right? That's just the reality of the situation. Or there's the cost, yeah, of investing. But if you look at the word investing, it's an investment, meaning you get something back. You get a return on your investment. You're getting something out of spending the money, right? And so yeah, I wanted to end the video just by helping you become aware of there really are two paths you can take. The cost of not doing it, right? Which is a financial cost, which will actually end up you costing more, like financially long term, or the cost of investing. But yes, you have to invest, but at the end of the day, once you have made that investment, the return is far greater, and if you can think about it that way, you realize how you're probably losing money now on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis, buying groceries that you don't need, buying takeout that you don't need, buying this, buying that, doctor's appointments, GPs, blah blah blah. Whereas you could take one investment with someone like me and you won't have to do that, and you'll actually long term save money, but also save years of your life or have a better quality of life at the very least, right? But that's it for today's video, guys. If you want to join my free community where there's other free resources and live coaching calls, you can click the link below. And if you want to book in a chat with depends what's available at the time. It might be me, it might be someone else, it depends. If it is me, you're lucky, because it's very, very difficult to have a chat with me these days. And the times might be, it might be really difficult. You might really have to make time for it. But if you do want to have a face-to-face chat, just click the link below. You'll have to go through an application process. If your application is approved, then you'll be prompted to, book a chat, and you'll be able to see if that's with me, because it will have my face and my name. And if it's not with me, you'll see one of my team members who also knows the program inside out and knows me very well as well. But that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I definitely do appreciate it. I don't make any, money off these videos. It's my time for free to help out the community. So yeah, that's it. See ya.